Today is Wednesday, November the 18th. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my morning political thought. You know what? I'm okay. I have to pause for a second and get my thoughts together because this stuff keeps on coming across my notifications of just new things that are going on. And I'm just like, really? All right. For those who don't know, well, first of all, let me do the social media stuff. The Purple Elephant Show main podcasting platform, The Purple Elephant Show on Parler, on Instagram. If you are watching this on BitChute, shout out to the BitChute community. Thank you guys for subscribing. Daily Motion or YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, followed by the notification bell for YouTube. And if you share this or like it and all that other jazz, it really helps out the show, yada, yada, yada. Okay, got that out the way. Let's get on into this. Okay, for Michigan, they were not planning on certifying Wayne County. Wayne County then made it change course because one of the reps in the group doxed two of the Republicans who were saying, hey, we can't certify this. And they doxed their children is what happened. So they were like, okay, fine, whatever. We'll certify, but there has to be an audit with the certification. So that's what Wayne County has started to do. Then this same guy, whoever he is, was talking about, oh, well, it's racism that they want to inspect the votes and do all this stuff. I really wish people would stop making black people their scapegoat on this whole election thing or bringing racism into whatever during this whole election thing. They do it with voter ID too. They're like, oh, well, you don't want to disenfranchise black people with voter ID. As if we can't figure out how to go to the Social Security office, get our Social Security card if it's missing, and then get our birth certificate and get all the documents we need. Then go to the DMV and get an identification card, whether it's a license or a regular identification card. Anybody can get an identification card. I've went through the process before. Can it be tedious? Yeah, it can be at times, but it's not that difficult. So why do they like to make it seem like black people just cannot do things for themselves? Make it make sense. Because we don't want any part of this. Whatever's going on, and we know some funny business is going on, Democrats, you don't need to bring black people into this. Because I can tell you right now, the black people that I know, they either didn't vote for Biden, they voted for Trump, or they didn't vote for Biden or Trump. They just sat it out. And you expect us to buy that Joe Biden got more votes than former President Obama. When the reason Hillary Clinton lost was because black people did not come out for her like they did for President Obama. They stayed at home. That is why Hillary Clinton lost. The black community did not come out for Hillary Clinton. So, and is when I'm talking about the black community. When the black community somewhat liked Hillary, somewhat, compared to Joe Biden. We're not checking for Joe Biden. I know I'm not. And I know other people who aren't. Joe Biden is garbage. So what makes you think that a ton of black people will come out in Detroit and in Philly and all these other places for Joe Biden, of all people, just because, oh, well, Trump's bad? No. In Philadelphia, they were too busy looting. They didn't have time. So this whole thing that, oh, well, we're going to disenfranchise black people and it's racism to want to count the votes and everything. No, it's not. It really isn't. And that's what's going on right now, where I honestly don't think they're going to certify Michigan. Because with that audit attached to it, and Steve Bannon is saying the same thing, which for those, if you want accurate information, listen to the War Room. Listen to Steve Bannon's War Room. Now, his information is accurate on an optimistic side, but it's still accurate nonetheless. The information that he gives you, the details that he gives you on the War Room, warroom.org, not .com, .org. He still gives you factual information, facts, details of how the process works, what is happening during the process. And then he explains what could happen. And like I said, he explains it from an optimistic point of view. But nonetheless, the information that he gives is still factually accurate. So if you want to know what's going on, listen to the War Room. Out of all the places, forget Fox, which a lot of people have forgotten Fox, which Newsmax has taken off, which I know Trish Regan is happy now because you know that she had got fired from Fox Business and then she had started working with Newsmax. So this is sort of a Schadenfreude moment for Trish Regan, I'm sure, even though she hasn't said it. I have a feeling she feels it. And, so forget Fox, forget all these other channels. And Newsmax is great. It's the better channel too, which obviously they give factual information on an optimistic side. But when it comes to getting down into the details of things, of this whole fiasco, the War Room with Steve Bannon, that is the one that you listen to. warroom.org. And you can listen to it on any podcast, SoundCloud, whatever. You'll see all the options there. But back to this. With Michigan, that's going to be interesting. They said Wisconsin, which I already knew. Everyone knows that President Trump won all these states. Everyone knows. Rudy Giuliani argued in the Pennsylvania court yesterday for a few hours. And to my understanding, that went very well. I haven't listened to it yet. I don't know if the audio is available or not. But according to the people who did hear it, hear him with his argument, making the case for why the votes in Pennsylvania should not, or let me rephrase, why certain votes in Pennsylvania should not be counted. Everyone is saying that he did a great job. Now, whether it's blowing smoke or whatever, I don't know. Because as I said before, I haven't listened to the argument. But I'll just go ahead and take their word for it that Rudy did his thing. Okay. Got that out the way. Also, Nevada is in question because a race for, I'm doing this from memory here. It was, I believe, the commissioner. A race was thrown out in Nevada. And by the way, it's Nevada, not Nevada. The easiest way to remember that is through the Las Vegas Strip. There's nothing but advertisements on the Las Vegas Strip. Advertisements. Nevada. So that's the easiest way to remember it. So in Nevada, there was an election that was thrown out for, I believe it was the commissioner. It was 100 and something thousand votes. And they're saying that they could not determine what the actual vote count was. So because that's been thrown out, now the Trump campaign has an opening to say, wait a second, you can't just throw out a whole contest with over 100,000 votes. And then, like, if you couldn't make that contest make sense, how can you make the contest of the president of the United States make sense? So they're looking to basically keep Nevada from certifying in doing that, which more than likely, after those votes got thrown out, that will probably be the case. In Georgia, which goes into my morning political thought, can anyone do simple math? What happened to basic math? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're finding votes all over the place. Not in one county, not in 2 counties. Now it's 3 counties. First it was 1, then another one. They're like, well, we found the memory card that wasn't scanned. Why wasn't the memory card scanned? We don't know. Okay. Another county. Well, it might have been a human error. It was a human error? Are you sure it wasn't a software issue? Well, it possibly, I don't know. We don't want to speculate. There's this video on the internet of this young lady. She sounded young. Asking these guys what happened. And they just look like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, even though there were three guys in the room. But this is our election system. This is our election system. You expect the American people to have faith in this election system with all of this going on, where people can't do simple math, where people forget to scan a card. Now, as I always say, once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern. Not one county where missing votes favoring President Trump, not two counties missing votes favoring President Trump. Now we're on our third county with missing votes favoring President Trump. Georgia has over 100 counties. Make it make sense. I don't, what happened to simple math? Can anyone do basic math? We're not doing calculus level math here. We're just taking votes that were cast and adding them up and going up the ranks in numbers. That's it. There is no calculus. There is no geometry. Hell, there is no algebra. This isn't even pre-algebra. It's just simple counting. So why can't people count votes correctly? What happened to people being able to do basic math to make sure all the numbers are there so we can count the votes correctly? So I say that this is a pattern now. I don't know what is going on in the state of Georgia with Governor Kemp, because Steve Bannon said it, so many other people have said it. If it was not for President Trump campaigning for Governor Kemp like he did, there wouldn't be a Governor Kemp. There would actually be, even though she still hasn't conceded yet and believes that she's the governor of Georgia, there would be a Governor Stacey Abrams, is what there would be, if it wasn't for President Trump campaigning for Brian Kemp. Now, to my understanding, and I'm doing this from memory here, I'm doing recall, I'm pretty sure that when President Trump was asked to campaign for Governor Kemp, President Trump did not know him. And he had to be told about him. After that, then President Trump made the decision to go ahead and help him out. Now, did President Trump make the decision based off of, well, maybe he's a good guy, or, you know what, it's better to have him than the alternative? I don't know. But I don't recall President Trump having any type of relationship with Governor Kemp beforehand when he was asked to campaign for him. Just like he was asked, President Trump was asked to campaign for Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis was down more than 10 points in Florida and ended up winning the state of Florida. And Florida had their act together. They know how to count votes. They counted the votes in Florida. They didn't say, oh, well, it's late, we'll be back tomorrow and start counting then, and then bring votes in the middle of the night. Florida also counts their votes as they receive them. So anything that was mailed in to Florida, absentee or mail-in ballots, they were counted then and there. And of course, they went through the proper scrutiny. That way, and the reason that's done, and Governor DeSantis said this, is so people can't say in the middle of the night, well, we have to stop and then figure out how many votes they need, because the votes are coming in and being counted. So there's less room for funny business. But when it comes to Georgia, Governor Kemp has been missing and has not been doing his job. In addition to that, the Secretary of State has some explaining to do. in regards to this Dominion voting software. Now, with what that does, that isn't basic math. But with memory cards and all this other stuff that are missing, that's basic math. You need to get all your numbers together and just count. These people, goodness. I'm starting to wonder. I'm really starting to wonder, is this America? Or is this Venezuela? Or the USSR? Because, yeah, this is where we're at now. So that's my morning political thought. They're finding more votes in Georgia, not in one county, not in two counties, in three counties. And then in Michigan, they were looking to not certify the county. Then somebody doxed the children of the people who were holding out on certifying the county. So then they were like, all right, well, we'll certify, but there has to be an audit with it in doing that. So this is where we're at. Let me take a quick glance to see if anything else is coming up across my line. They're mentioning Dominion confirms Clinton Foundation donation. I don't care about the Clintons. They're kind of irrelevant to me. Yeah, this is pretty much where we're at. So most of the states that went on pause, whether it's Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, all of these states are still in play. And I have a very strong feeling President Trump is about to win several of them. So this isn't a premonition, it's just intuition. That President Trump will prevail. The evidence is overwhelming right now of the things that are going on, of the stuff that is happening. That's why I said, throughout this process, I have not been at the break glass in case of emergency level, because we're still in the middle of November. We're not even near December yet. We're not. So, and it wouldn't surprise me if something happens during Thanksgiving, like right before or right after. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm throwing this out here now for my listeners. It wouldn't surprise me if something happens right before or right after Thanksgiving. So keep your ears to the ground on that. Don't know why I'm picking that up right now. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And that's all I have for my morning political thought. Again, thepurpleelephantshow.com, main podcasting platform. The Purple Elephant Show on Instagram, on Parler, the free speech platform. And then also, if you are watching this on BitChute, Daily Motion, or YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Until next time, love you guys. Be blessed.